that's too much over the line. The benediction I have to offer is actually I'm taking from Sridhar Maharaj, the original commentator on the Bhagavatam. So this is the theme of our book, the Sampradaya of the book. So Sridhar Swami was in fact initiated as a Mayavad Swami, but somehow or other he became the first commentator on the Bhagavatam. And we honor him in that way. And in his commentary on the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 87, Prayers for the Personified Vedas, he has some prayers to offer. And so this benediction I want to steal from Sridhar Swami, because of course he was a devotee of Nrsingadev. And we always thought of Nrsingadev as somebody that pretty violent to destroy our enemies and all those kinds of things. But this one of his prayers to Nrsingadev, it goes like this: Vagisha Yasha Varane Lakshmi Yasha Chayavakshasi Vasyaste Hridaye Sandhitam Nrsingham Maham Bhaje. So he's describing Nrsingadev. And he says Nrsingadev has in his mouth Vagisha, the goddess of eloquence. Vagisha. I mean, the poem is very interesting because it just says, who has this in his mouth, this yasya. You don't find this Nrsinga until the end of the verse. Vagisha, yasya. He who has Vagisha in his mouth. And so Vak is words, Vagisha is the goddess of eloquence. And then Lakshmi or Yasha, and he who has on his chest Lakshmi, goddess of fortune. And then Yasyaste Hridaye Samvit, and he who has dwelling in his heart the goddess of learning, Samvit, of complete knowledge, full knowledge, like Sankirtan. So there's Samvit, complete knowledge. Tam Nrsingham Maham Bhaje. I offer that. I worship that Nrsinga who has these aspects. So also for Satguru Maharaj, I hope that also he will be inspired by Nrsingadev so that he will have the eloquence on his tongue of Vagisha, and at his side Lakshmi Devi, and in his heart Samvit, to keep us all enlightened and encouraged.
But only the sincere disciple can achieve the result. You've certainly proved that point, Guru Maharaj. You are that Mahatma Sudurlabha whose life of dedicated service has become extraordinary. Writing the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita alone would have achieved that, yet you have done so much more. For my little life, I thank you for so many meetings in Ireland, the UK, Italy, and India, and the USA. Sweet, simple kirtans and wonderful classes over the years. Thank you for the life and teachings of Srila Prabhupada course at the VIHE in Vrindavan, which remains the best course I ever attended. It deepened my understanding and appreciation of Srila Prabhupada and reaffirmed my need for you as my teacher and guide in my life. Thank you for your pioneering writing, Sadhana. Each book a testimony to creative genius engaged in the pursuit of truth. Krishna Consciousness Sans Frontiers, with now over 100 titles to your name in many different genres. They will continue to inspire, provoke, and challenge souls to seek truth, Krishna, in all circumstances. Though I could choose many other books, I thank you particularly for writing Entering the Life of Prayer. It embraced interfaith appreciation and expanded Bhakti horizons at a time I struggled to integrate my own Catholic background. It helped me immeasurably. Thank you for letters that always encouraged and guided, and despite my many shortcomings, for being so tolerant and generous-hearted. As I grow older, and am now the middle-aged Mathaji I am, I appreciate more your cultivated habit of never wasting time. Still, today at Viraha Bhavan, despite the difficulties of age, you carve time up so carefully into sliced offerings of chanting, hearing, reading, writing, recording, reflections, daily darshan, offering and receiving prasadam, dealing with correspondence, receiving guests, and preparing talks, among so much else. Nor do you waste words. I thank you again for the few potent words you wrote me many years ago that continue to answer every difficulty I ever encounter. You wrote in response to a lengthy mental outpouring I had written. I repeat your words every year to encourage new students at Bhaktivedanta College. And I end this offering with those words. You wrote, Krishna is more merciful than you are dumb. And so is his very dear devotee. Happy Vyasapuja, Guru Maharaj.
Anchikabhatu Krishna, Krishna Bhajan, Padita Nam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Here's Vyasapuja Maharaj. Much in the same way that Giriraj Swami was expressing in the offering that you read, my life in Krishna consciousness, my service in Krishna consciousness is not different than your blessings to me. There was a time when we were very close together serving for many years, actually. Some of the best years of my life in Krishna consciousness. And I remember things that stick out in my mind when going over that history. Since this is your 80th birthday also, I recall when I was your secretary, you wrote an article for Back to Godhead, turning 40. Now another 40 years have passed. But the person is the same, the activity is the same. So as Prabhupada said, if you take a thrashing machine here, if you take it to heaven, it'll thrash there, same thing. So you're doing your service, giving your example for many years, and that will continue here or there. I have one lament, though, is that since that time, when I was your secretary, working with you on your books, Lilamrita especially, 40 years have passed, and the ability to have that close, intimate association with you hasn't been there. Actually, I recall one time we were in Dallas, and I was helping you prepare for taking rest, but I forgot to give you a towel for bathing in the morning. So after completing what I thought was setting you up for your evening rest, I went and I took rest myself, but there was something bothering me. I couldn't take rest. I couldn't fall asleep. And it was that Satrup Maharaj doesn't have a towel. Get up and give him a towel. So somehow or another I followed that instruction, that inspiration, and I went and knocked on your room and gave you a towel, and you said to me that, oh good, I was wondering what I would do, I didn't have a towel for them. That kind of closeness was so special to me that it's the very bedrock of whatever service I do in Krishna consciousness now. Of course, I can't fail to also mention that you were kind to me, that part of my leaving you, that intimate association, was to enter the Grihastha ashram. And you asked my wife, would she marry me? You performed the marriage ceremony, and you initiated her at the same time. So even in that, in our Grihastha ashram, it's all just a manifestation of your different mercy to us. And I can say thank you, but it's not enough, really. It's I don't know how to express it other than say thank you.
Happy birthday. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Sasrup Das Goswami Iti Namine Sasrupa Bidam Bande Vinitam Sadabhushanam Bhakti Granthana Naipunyam Bhakti Vedanta Shikshitam. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. All glories to His divine grace, Srila Prabhupada. At this most auspicious time of your 80th anniversary of your appearance, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and love. Lord Krishna is kind. He has given me you, my spiritual master, who has given me the precious Bhakti Lata Bija and the opportunity to perfect my life. I am forever indebted for this great mercy. You have connected me to the Parampara, Guru Parampara. You have given me the opportunity to engage in devotional service, to see and serve the Archa Vigraha, to associate with devotees, to honor Shri Krishna's prasad, and you have given me the opportunity to realize my relationship with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. All that is good and positive in my life is due to your mercy. You have shown me my duty. By your mercy alone, I have the opportunity for devotional service. It is you that are the source of my enthusiasm in devotional service. I thank you for your instructions, guidance, and kind support. You have given me the Maha Mantra and the desire to taste the sweetness of Lord Krishna's name, which is non-different from the Lord Himself. You have taught me to chant clearly and just hear. You emphasized just hear the transcendental sounds of the Maha Mantra and do not imagine their glories. You have written many instructions on japa, and you have made your mercy available in hundreds of writings and recordings. You are known to be extraordinarily honest, even to a fault. Whether it is your personal experience or a fictitious scenario or a scholarly essay, you have given us many books discussing the struggles of a sadhaka. By reading these books, I have developed determination. Everything is possible by the blessing of Guru and Krishna. Srila Prabhupada said, if you want to know me, read my books. The persona of the spiritual master is present in his books. Therefore, by your association through reading of your books, I have imbibed devotional sentiments. All my realizations are made possible by your mercy. You have produced over 200 titles. You said that the subject matter of your books is love. You have charted the course to develop my relationship with Lord Krishna and teach me how to love Him. This is the actual blessing of the spiritual master. You have spent a lifetime in devotional service to Srila Prabhupada and Sri Krishna and have produced an immense body of work for our benefit and for posterity. I believe your books will endure just as Srila Prabhupada's books will for the next 10,000 years. In a recent journal entry, you expressed sadness that most of your books are not in print. I want you to know that not only do I have plans to try to print as many of your books as I can, but my husband, your godbrother, also has a desire to try to print and sell some of your books. Your transcendental blessings are eternal, and I am eternally indebted. I don't know how I can repay this mammoth debt, but I am prepared to try birth after birth. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for your limitless blessings on this fallen soul.
Dear Satsvarup Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, one of Srila Prabhupada's most beautiful creations. The first time I saw you in person was at the Boston Temple in October or November of 1971. You were the temple president at that time. I was visiting from New York, traveling with the ISKCON Press devotees to New Hampshire with a truck full of books to be bound. They had a bindery in New Hampshire that they had the books bound. We spent the night at the Boston Temple and returned to New York the next day. During Milk Prasadam that evening, you were speaking about an engagement you and some other devotees had attended, and you mentioned how one of the devotees started playing a piano very expertly and impressed the people at the program. I don't know if you remember that at all. Okay. My impression of you at that time was that you were humble and peaceful. I didn't know who you were, nor did I even know your name. On the drive back to New York, the devotees were talking about you and explained to me who you were. In December the same year, I moved into the Boston Temple, but you had already left, and Gaur Hari was the new temple president. Since that time, I would now and then get your association. When I was the Sankirtan leader in Philadelphia, you were our GBC, and I would regularly report to you how the Sankirtan devotees were doing. I used the terms, so-and-so was fried out, so-and-so was fired up. Later I read something you wrote about ISKCON jargon. And I always wondered if you wrote that because of my letters. I was a brahmachari for 8 years, and the first day I put on white by bleaching my dhoti. I went to the Long Island Temple to pick up Jivan Oshadi, my future wife. I never met her before. The arrangement was made by Adikeshwara, and I was to bring her back to our Hartford Temple. I remember the surprised look on your face when you opened your door. You were staying at the Long Island Temple at that time, at least overnight, I don't know how long. You opened your door and saw me wearing white. It wasn't a negative, you fell down kind of look, but just more of a surprised look. I was embarrassed because in those days we were brahmacharis for life, even though 99% of us got married. I have recently visited you a couple of times, and I am impressed with your Krishna consciousness. I read your free write journal every week, and your books regularly, especially Srila Prabhupada and Leelamrita, and most recently He Lives Forever. And I have to say that they are transcendental literatures. Anyone who reads Leelamrita has to become attached to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for writing so many wonderful Krishna conscious books. You will also live forever in your books. I have always been attracted to your humility. I think humility and kindness are the most important qualities of a devotee, and you have them in spades. I am so happy that I have met you, and you have treated me as a friend. I thank you so much for your association, and I hope to visit you again and again in the upcoming years. Hare Krishna.
That even I am connected to the parampara. And what a connection I have. In our relationship, you have more than kept your side of the bargain. As Shakespeare said, Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks upon tempests and is never shaken. You are kindness personified, Guru Maharaj, a master of bhakti, a master of words. You are the shining star to this wandering bark. I hope to one day do you proud. Your servant, Shilavati Devidas.
Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This year, on your auspicious Vyasapuja celebration, is your 80th birthday. I intend to reflect on the wonderful living legacy you have manifested in service to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna for the benefit of present and future generations. I'm using the expression living legacy as a title for this offering because the statement encapsulates numerous elements of your devotional lifelong work. Your main contribution is undoubtedly your writings, generously available at sdglegacy.com for the benefit of everyone interested. Your immense literary contribution is living in multiple ways. 1. It reveals your lifelong experience in life and Krishna consciousness, from your childhood and youth before you met Srila Prabhupada, the personal transformation you went through when you met him, the vast amount of responsibilities you took on his behalf within ISKCON, the periods of dynamic worldwide traveling and preaching, the crises you went through both in health and other aspects of life, the innumerable amount of special people you interact with, your personal sadhana and introspection, and it might be appropriate to say that it culminates with your happy days in Viraha Bhavan, where despite old age and its natural challenges, you continue to expand your literary legacy and you enjoy serving Radha Govinda and Srila Prabhupada in the company of disciples and friends. 2. Your literary work is not a stereotyped dogma, but the expression of a true person speaking to the world about the wonderful teachings he received from his self-realized spiritual master and how he experiences them in different life situations. 3. It continues to grow day after day. Most probably it will expand until your last breath. 4. It is expressed in manifold literary genres such as poetry, sacred biography, devotional practice, essay, journal, free writing, novel, fiction, art, and other. 5. It is so vast that it is difficult to specifically know how many books you have produced. I may be wrong, but I think that other than Krishna, no one really knows how many pieces you have written. And it has been proven in the 6. Your readers get life and inspiration from what you share. By following you in your often self-reflective writing style, they connect with Krishna within their hearts, and they become inspired to use whatever abilities they have in his service, according to their natural propensities, both purely spiritual and psychophysical. 7. It is not limited by time, since it reveals the eternal truths of Krishna and devotional service to him. It will continue to exist and to enlighten people after your physical departure from this world. It is the vibrant expression of the Guru Parampara Vani manifested in a unique way. Other aspects of your legacy are your lifelong wonderful example as a devotee who is loyal to Guru and Krishna, your voluminous artwork, and your intense and yet quiet lifestyle, which is full of exciting experiences in relation to Krishna and his devotees. Since this year we have been asked to keep our offerings concise so that they can be compiled, I'll stop here by stating that your living legacy is so marvelous that it deserves one or more thorough PhD studies that may contribute to unpack it and to its comprehensive understanding for the benefit of the Vaishnava community and the general public. I bow down at your lotus feet with heartfelt gratitude and affection. I am eternally your servant. We love you, Guru Maharaj.
Namo Vishnu Padara Krishna Prastaya Bhutalaya Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Gaurani Pachaya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadis Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Shri Guru Maharaj, in the material world, all the miseries are there, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik, Adi Daivik, and besides that the birth, death, old age and disease. And everybody is suffering in this material world. And Srila Prabhupada came here to give a practical life, how to live and get out from this material world. And first question you asked to Srila Prabhupada is this material world, its suffering is material, is eternal? And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, it is eternal. But Srila Prabhupada also saw the path, how to get out from that. And you are following that path which Srila Prabhupada has given to us also. Also, when your father rejected you, that you are not my son anymore, you went to Srila Prabhupada and you accepted Srila Prabhupada as your eternal father. And and you have that full faith in Srila Prabhupada to continue following his instruction, and you have full faith to see that Srila Prabhupada is your real father. We can see that. Also, when you were writing the books before you joined to ISKCON, and Srila Prabhupada gave you the instruction also to write books, and you are following that by writing the books. And you are showing by this following Srila Prabhupada, because you have full faith in it. I don't have full faith. I don't still, but somehow or other I'm following it, and I'm sure by your mercy and by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I will get that full faith one day. So thank you. I have so much to say, but there is not enough time because many others has to speak. So I'm sure when I will see you personally, I will talk more. Thank you.
Just 3 weeks ago, and so Sesha Prabhu asked me, are you going for Homages Vyasapuja? And I didn't know what to say because I was coming just 2 days prior to the celebration. So then he said, I don't know whether you are or not, but I'm going. It is his 80th birthday. Then he said, he's our foundation. So that word, I thought about that word, that you're our foundation. And yes, Guru Maharaj, you're our foundation. You have trained us. Everything we are today is your training. Your training in japa. Your training in reading Srila Prabhupada's books. You have trained us how to develop our relationship with Srila Prabhupada. You have trained us how to cultivate Vaishnava qualities. You have trained us how to, just in the entering of life, entering in the life of prayers, you trained us how to see other religions and how to have respect. And I was also thinking that all this training you have given us so long ago, before nowadays there's so many japa retreats, so there's other, another one that you mentioned that we attended was in Vrindavan in 91, entering the pastimes, Vrindavan pastimes, I remember?
Yes.
That was one of my favorite ones. But I see that all those kind of, the mood that you gave to us is catching on with everybody else. So you are way ahead of your times. And we feel so fortunate that you have trained us, given us that training. And so yes, you are our foundation, and I want to thank you, Guru Maharaj, for being that for us. So even though you're here and we are somewhere else, everybody's somewhere else, but our foundation is there, and that helps us to continue in the same mood that you have given to us. So thank you, Guru Maharaj.
A great disciple of Srila Prabhupada and devotee of Lord Krishna, and it can't be said too strongly. When I read the Krishna book to you recently, I couldn't help but think how you were the first one to hear the Krishna book from Prabhupada, and how 53 years later you're hearing the same words for the umpteenth time, and you're so attentive and absorbed in his pastimes. The only explanation for that kind of hearing is purity of heart for Krishna. All day long, each and every day, you only hear and chant and write and think and talk about Krishna. Only a pure devotee can do that. Here is one of the most valuable things I ever heard from you. You were talking about why we shouldn't be envious of other devotees. You said that the purpose of everything that we do is to please Krishna. So if another devotee is pleasing Krishna more than me, then they're more advanced, and I should be happy. The common goal is being accomplished. Krishna is being pleased. So how can I resent them? I think about that every time I feel envy for another devotee. I hope to have more association with you for years to come. Your eternal servant, Muktavandya Das.
Words missing.
Happy birthday, Guru Maharaj, and please allow me to express my deepest gratitude for your special compassion and love. Only by the mercy of a bona fide spiritual master can one cross the ocean of material existence. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasadu. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of the spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master at least 3 times a day. I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master. You engage me in the service of dressing your worshipable deity Sri Sri Radha Govinda every 3rd day. You refer to that day as the exciting day. You wait in anticipation to take darshan of Radha Govinda in their new outfits. For me, Guru Maharaj, it's the intense day. I'm praying to Srimati Radharani, please help me. Oh, how fortunate I am. You smile when you see me enjoying prasadam, and you share memories of being with Srila Prabhupada. You have given us what Srila Prabhupada gave to you, his compassion, his kindness, his love. Oh, please allow me to realize how fortunate I am. You allow me to be one of the outlawed reader at Vyasapuja Bhavan of Srila Prabhupada books during breakfast and at lunch again. You listen to and meditate on every word of Srila Prabhupada purports. Even with my Trinidadian accent, sometimes you have to ask, what word is that? Please help me to develop more faith and a taste for the sastras and writing of the acharyas, and to follow your instructions and example. Desiring to be your eternal servant always, Krishna Devi Dasi.
My dear Guru Maharaj, on this most auspicious occasion, I wish to confess my sincere heartfelt gratitude to you as my spiritual master, to whom I never lose faith in. And on the contrary, I was convinced that you are the most transparent and surrendered personality to Srila Prabhupada and the Supreme Lord. You may have gone through many challenges and trying times, just as all saintly personalities do. But you came out victorious and resolved to enhance your surrender and determination to persevere on the highest path of bhakti, as proclaimed through the Siddhanta of Vedic literatures. You have indeed set the realistic example for all of us in the modern era, and more so after the departure of Srila Prabhupada. In all of your writings, despite its diverse presentation and unique characterization in prose and poetry and art history, you sought to impress upon all of us and its broad readership the inherent conditioning of human life, our distinct individuality, but nevertheless pointing the way to our ultimate goal. You have shown and proven that despite our many trials and errors, struggling health and deficiencies, our lives can be utilized effectively. Your writings have certainly captured the moments and stigma of such endurance. I'm most impressed by it all, and it has given me more reasons to indulge my already expressed trust and conviction in your standing as one of Srila Prabhupada's outstanding representative. I'm really happy and delighted that the Lord is making what I see as timely arrangements for your writings being delivered to a wider public, and is finding a place in the hearts of seekers of the absolute truth and nature, and seekers of honesty, tangible integrity, and invigorating spiritual wisdom. Over the years, I tried to take the opportunity, whilst you are here in your Vapu, to render some personal and sometimes intimate service to you, with a belief and understanding that by so doing, I can please the Supreme Lord by his bona fide representative. It's part of our Vedic culture and Dharma, and undoubtedly is an integral part of my relationship with you as my spiritual master, who has the esteemed intimate service to Lord Krishna's empowered Parivaktakacharya, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. My dear Guru Maharaj, whilst my attempt is to glorify you on this revered celebration of your Vyasapuja, I would also wish to seek your kind and compassionate forgiveness for my many offenses, to tolerate my many shortcomings, and to continue giving me the opportunities to serve you in your sacred ashram at Viraha Bhavan. Although your Vani provides the most essential element and concept of our spiritual advancement, your Vapu provides added opportunities and substantial spiritual gain once executed with proper diligence, sincerity, and surrender. I pray that in my lifetime I can be of some meaningful service to you in my attempt to serve you in this mission of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I beg to remain your most insignificant servant, Haridas.
Maharaj, when you heard, you asked the question, is he the same Shesha? Well, certainly he is. I'm happy to see him. And it's very nice that all of us can be here today to celebrate and to enjoy this wonderful day on your 80th birthday. Satrup Das Goswami is not only limited to his disciples alone. For hundreds of years in the future, his teachings shall be in Krishna consciousness. So don't feel left out or missed by the karma that you're not his disciple. He's connected to all of us. And as long as ISKCON survive on this planet, the name Satsrup Das Goswami will always be echoed. Hari Bol!
First, I want to thank all the disciples for their beautiful offerings. It's very humbling to hear them, and I feel like a mouse among lions. You very much inspire me. Dear Guru Maharaj, of all the most valuable possessions we have, arguably the most precious is time. A birthday celebration is a reminder of this. In gratitude on this day, we acknowledge the years you have been with us and with wishes for many more. A self-help guru once said, "We do not manage time, we manage ourselves with regard to it." Nobody starts out with 24 hours, manages their time well, and ends up with 27. No matter how efficient we are, we each have the same 86,400 seconds as every other jiva. I speak loud enough that I can talk about this. One of the qualities I most admire in you, and perhaps the one I most egregiously fail to emulate, is how you manage yourself with regard to time. This has been kind of a theme today. In the purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 4:24-56, I think I might have gotten that wrong there, Srila Prabhupada, referencing Bhagavad Gita, writes, "It is said that the Lord in the shape and form of death destroys all a person's possessions. Ritu sarva harashchatham, I am all devouring death. The Lord in the shape of death takes away everything that is created by the conditioned soul. Everything in this material world is subject to perish in due course of time. However, all the strength of time cannot hamper the activities of a devotee, for a devotee takes complete shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord. For this reason only is a devotee free from formidable time." That's the end of the quote. How is it possible for a devotee to conquer time? By worshipping eternal time in the form of Krishna Smaranam and Guru Smaranam. In part 4 of the volume 2 of Prabhupada Meditations, you write, quote, "In our own little way, we are also worshipping the hours and minutes when we were with Srila Prabhupada. One way to worship sacred time is to ask it, please come forward so that we may praise you with words and tell the world what it was like. Kindly come forward and reveal yourself, minutes and hours in which I was with Srila Prabhupada," end quote. In this passage, you are riffing off of the words of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mood of Srimati Radharani, saying, "If by chance such a moment comes when I can once again see Krishna, then I shall worship those seconds, moments, and hours with flower garlands and pulp of sandalwood, and decorate them with all kinds of jewels and ornaments." You have been decorating the moments and hours, the days and the years, indeed an entire lifetime, with the ornaments and jewels of your heart, the words you accepted from your Guru Maharaj, and which you place in various settings and bequeath to your readers. Earlier in the chapter, Mahaprabhu, again quoting Srimati Radharani, says, "When I again see his form, I shall decorate the phases of time with many jewels." The phases of time makes me think of the phases of the moon. The light you have reflected from Krishna and Srila Prabhupada is such soothing and invigorating illumination, both in the darkness of Kali Yuga and in the darkness of what remains of my own ignorance. Through all the phases of time, may your words shine on. Please bless me to also become a clear reflection of that light by properly worshiping Krishna in his form of time.
I will say that one thing that came to me was how I'm a little serendipitous, and Krishna made these arrangements, and it's just the perfect arrangement. And I'm not so proactive, like I'll strategize, but I kind of get a sense. This is where I have to go. This is where I have to go, and so that's worked out very well for me. That somehow met you in Boston in the late '70s. And Shashi was there as your servant. Remember that, our Bhakta meeting. But it's worked out well. But what I wanted to say is, along with that relationship with you is the relationship with everybody here. Just as Krishna and his devotees are always together, somehow you've collected all of us, and that's also been part of the process that I think has been very important, certainly for me, and I'm sure we all feel that this family that you've collected and brought to Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. I'm going to quit there.
Srila Prabhupada. You know, I never know what to say to you. I was writing 3 different articles to offer to you this year, and I didn't finish one of them because I thought about it. It's not that I don't have things that I appreciate about you. I like so many things about you. And over the years, we have so many memories. So I get a little confused. But I'm going to share a few of them with you in my mind. I remember in the beginning, I used to just tell stories. I'd come up to see you, and I'd tell you book distribution stories from Sankirtan. And I'd get in trouble with my godbrothers, but you told me you liked it very much. And then our relationship changed, and it was more or less on the kirtan. We'd meet in kirtan. You'd direct me here and there, get this person, that person, into the kirtan. And so that too was a very wonderful time, and we danced. We would dance and dance. And I can't do that now. We had a wonderful time. But there's another aspect that I really like, and that's seeing you in your books. In your books, you're different from the person that I embrace and come to see. In your books, you're so strong, you're so clear. And even when I've read your books before, when I come back and read them again, as you know, sometimes I have to call you and tell you and apologize because I've missed so many things in the past because it was ahead of me. But that voice in the books is just unbelievable. It's so clear. It's so Krishna conscious. It's not compromising. It's not going to accept any of my nonsense. And I love that voice. So whatever type, whether you're glorifying Srila Prabhupada or you're giving us different instructions, that voice in your literatures is my favorite voice to hear from you.
But that's my home. I was not real prepared. It was kind of difficult to travel here. But thank you for the mercy of my husband to associate me to you how to go to see the Guru. So, and Krishna Dasi, they called me personal to come into here. So, my last time was 4 years ago that I came. But please accept my humble basis and Maharaj. So I was not very prepared, but I had just heard something that I want to. Can you please speak a little louder? Okay. Let me see. Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I can find that right now, but I just want to say, many years ago, I enjoyed Puerto Rico Temple in 1979. And I remember that I was staying from Fridays to Sunday in the temple and started learning the philosophy. And Maharaj came to the temple. We live high in the mountains. To go to my country, you have to go curves away till you see the top of the mountain. And I see Maharaj, and I don't know much about it yet. It was all very small knowledge that I have it. I remember when I saw him, I feel so lining. I don't know what, in that moment, what was that feeling? I just said, oh my God, I think he's an angel. You know, that's what I said. So I remember when Maharaj was living in the car, we had to go down the hill, and I just followed running to the time I was in the street. 1981, I got the blessing of mercy to have initiation from you. My service for 9 years was doing Sankirtan, and I had the blessing to have many darshans through the letters and through personals. They receive instruction to how to do better my Sankirtan and do my sadhana pattern. I just want to say for the last 2 years, I have been trying to, my dream is to go back to do Sankirtan only for the books of Srila Saswara Guru Maharaj. I don't know, for some reason, if I'm not qualified, but Krishna having not allowed me to go back to that service. That's my dream. And, I'm really coming all day how we're supposed to dedicate more time. I'm putting involved in the temple in Orlando, but my dream is to distribute your book, Maharaj. Also, somebody here, they has that. Last time somebody talked to me from New York and said, going to send me the boxes. I never received it. So I also want anyone here, give me that mercy. Thank you, Maharaj, to allow me for so many years to continue doing the service. I really have to say, I don't know what would be my life without you. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Time and memory can be funny in this world. I have a vivid memory of reading your editorial about turning 40 and back to Godhead. It was 1979. I was 22. I thought 40 was very far away. I remember holding that BTG as if it were yesterday. Now you are turning 80 and I am 62. You told me once we were growing old together, and here we are. Regarding the passage of time in this world, Krishna declares, "Time I am, the great destroyer of worlds." Bhagavad Gita 11:32. Of course, this is true for the material world, but does not apply to the guru-disciple relationships. When Vasudeva met his brother Nanda in Mathura, they discussed how living entities appear on this earth under the pressure of fruitive activities. Though they come together, there is no certainty they will remain together. Vasudeva compared the living beings to plants and creatures, floating on the waves of the ocean, being brought together and then separated forever. While it is true we as devotees are also brought together and separated, often against our will, by the waves of time and circumstance, I don't believe the forever part applies to spiritual relationships, especially not to the guru-disciple connection. You are forever my spiritual father, and neither time nor the waves of this world, metaphorical or otherwise, will change that. In the end, it is love that binds us. I am forever in your debt. This is your Vyasapuja day. It is a day when a disciple should not just affirm his or her relationship with you, but also offer you praise despite your natural reluctance to accept. While honoring the birthday of the spiritual master as Vyasapuja is proper and the due of every spiritual master in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, it seems especially relevant to you. Like Srila Vyasadeva, you are a writer. It is not something you do. It is who you are. Srila Prabhupada saw this early on. He instructed you to write, to follow your God-given propensity and talent. When Narada Muni saw Vyasadeva's dissatisfaction with his past accomplishments, he saw a crisis. Vyasadeva thought he was undone because his writing had left him unfulfilled. The cure was given by Narada Muni: write to broadcast the spotless glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like Narada Muni, Srila Prabhupada gave you a similar instruction. You have spent your life pursuing and honoring this goal. In doing so, goal and process have become non-different. You have honored Srila Prabhupada and Srila Vyasadeva by manifesting art and literature at an unprecedented rate. The poems, the prose, and the paintings fly from your mind, your heart, and your hands. Their intensity, passion, insight, and quantity speak to empowerment by Srila Vyasadeva, Srila Prabhupada, and the Vaishnavacharyas. But one must be a fit conduit for empowerment, or this art cannot manifest. Your body of work stands as a testament to your noble use of this gift. Your legacy is your art in all its forms. This art is your gift to us, your disciples, to all who are searching for a love which cannot be destroyed by time, and for a relationship which cannot be ended by the waves of this world. You are my eternal father and friend, whether we are within each other's company and vision or not. This is what I pray to have faith in and to realize fully. I pray for your blessings for this. I feel gratitude on your birthday for all you have given, for your presence here, and for being in your family. These 40 years have gone by too quickly. I want to slow time down now and keep you near for many years to come. With love, your servant and friend, Kirtan Rasa.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Buddhaya Shrimate Satsvarup Das Goswamini Tidamane Satsvarupa Vidamman Nivinitam Sadhubhushanam Bhakti Grantananai Punyam Bhakti Vedanta Shikshitam. I was dreading the fact that I would be called, because I'm not ashamed at all of my offering, but I don't want to read it. I was thinking that I used to make the long drive here fairly regularly, and I got into the habit, and it was pretty much a straight shot. And the more I come here lately, the more my mind struggles with the idea, not having anything to do with you or the devotees here, but just it struggles. And but thinking of the honor of seeing you and being here among your servants with the opportunity to serve them gives me great hope that my insignificant, miserable life that you have touched so kindly has a promising future. You are kind enough to overload me with work, with service, and I'm very unlimitedly grateful for it and helpless that I cannot keep up. I don't want it to stop. I loved your words and the opportunity to do service. Thank you for your incredible blessings on my fallen head. Jai Guru Maharaj.
Narada Muni speaks a verse in the 7th canto to Maharaj Yudhishthira that the Brahmins and Vaishnavas, by their devotional service, they're ultimately worshipable even by Krishna. And the service that I have to perform of late, or I'm performing of late, I'm surrounded by Krishna's parts and parcels who are generally not engaged in the spiritual energy. So to be here amongst all the wonderful devotees, yourself, I think if we put everybody's devotional service just in this life calculated together, it would equal thousands and thousands of years. So I'm very much humbled and in awe. I'll just say one thing that I've been thinking of late, that Prabhupada always stressed the secret of success is to accept the order of one's spiritual master as one's life and soul. And he showed in his own Leela, Prabhupada Leelamrita, that he was supposedly a Gandhian, and his friend Narendranath Malik had to drag him. You must see this, sadhu. We want your opinion. You're the leader of our group. Oh no, I'm not going. I've seen these. No, you have to come. And then immediately he's just struck with wonder by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and immediately switched his allegiance, Mahatma Gandhi in the wastebasket. And I would have joined immediately, but I was newly married. I accepted him immediately, not officially, but within my heart. And Prabhupada, speaking on his Guru Maharaj's appearance and disappearance days, saying that the secret of success is to dedicate yourself to the order of the spiritual master without consideration of personal profit or loss. So I've tried a little bit in that spirit, and things have come to this. Who knew that I would come to his shelter. We were born in a different family. Who knew that you American boys and girls would come to me? These are all Krishna's arrangements. So, and Prabhupada said of the devotees who came to first help him to be the pillars and pioneers that he built this whole movement on, that you were in your last life in India, and by the transcendental system you were sent to take birth in this part of the world to assist me. So, make the words of the spiritual master one with one's heart. Do not desire for anything else to remain within one's heart. Love for the spiritual master raises one to the highest goal. Or as I was hearing so many devotees speak, that your dedication to Prabhupada over the years, that so much has come out. So the same symptom of the bona fide spiritual master and authorized acharya is evident in your life. As soon as you came upon Prabhupada, you were struck with wonder, and immediately you became his most loving disciple. There's the incident where you didn't come to the first initiation, you just transcribed for Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada told you the next morning, if you love me, then I'll love you. And for you, you said that was the game changer, and that was... So, I'm just so thankful for all the wonderful years attempting to serve under your guidance and shelter, and be the most glorious link to Srila Prabhupada and to the Guru Parampara. And I'm just so thankful and appreciative. Thank you very much.
I'm pleased to offer this heartfelt homage to you on the auspicious occasion of your 2019 Vyasapuja, marking the 80th anniversary of your appearance day. As you recall, our association began when I read your book, Prabhupada Lilamrita. I identified with your character of Stephen Guarino because I found similarities in our backgrounds, and I admired your dedicated service to Swamiji. I pretended to be Stephen Guarino in this story, and this helped bridge the cultural gap I was experiencing as a novice Westerner exploring the new world of the Hare Krishnas. In this way, reading Prabhupada Lilamrita inspired me to participate in the Hare Krishna movement and to turn to you for shelter. Your personal association is very special and enlivening. I always feel awe and reverence in your presence, though sometimes it may be masked by my immaturity. I fondly recall the first time I met you at the Brooklyn Temple, when I was allowed to sit in on your disciples meeting. I asked you how one could find a spiritual master who was bona fide. You explained the parampara and the system of checks and balances, which was new to me at the time. The real question in my heart was whether you were my spiritual master. In hearing you speak and by observing you with your disciples, my unspoken question was answered as well. I'm grateful that you cultivate an individual relationship with me as spiritual master and disciple. You recognize my strengths and weaknesses, acknowledge my personal history, and offer me individual guidance and encouragement in friendship as you lead me on the path of devotional service with mercy and compassion. And when I'm moving in the right direction, you're always eager to reciprocate. Your individual attention is evident in our letter exchanges, where you draw upon our common backgrounds and interests to nurture me along. Engaging the reader is the hallmark of your writing style, which I witnessed when proofreading your books. Some of my correspondence may appear to be materialistic, but all topics become spiritualized when discussed with you. As you once observed, quote, "We are not just engaging in mundane exchanges, but giving a little sauce and chutney to the real Mahaprasadam of Krishna conscious exchanges," unquote. I also appreciate that you've been lenient with me, though never indulgent or compromising, always serving as the perfect spiritual master, ever encouraging me to become more mature in my spiritual life. You caution me not to be lackadaisical, but to strive for a higher attainment in Krishna consciousness. And you generously offer to tackle this challenge together. Guru Maharaj, I'm eternally grateful to you for providing me with this loving connection to yourself, to Srila Prabhupada, and to Lord Krishna. And again, thanks for adding the sauce and chutney to bring out the taste.
Because, like most devotees, disciple here, I didn't really prepare anything. But I guess like most people here, this year when we hear that it's Guru Maharaj 80th birthday, we're thinking how much more time we have to spend with Guru Maharaj. Of course, any one of us can die at any time. And devotees are not negative about death. If they see Yamraj, Hare Krishna Yam. Or if they think about that, then they become more enthusiastic. Hare Krishna, we're going to reach Krishna. So we're not, but in this material world, relative time, we have limited time. And Guru Maharaj is 80, we're just a few steps behind him. And I was thinking personally, to try and relish these meetings, and we can encourage each other, to have that, and to relish this limited time within this world. Of course, we know that we have faith that our relationship would continue. Some of us next life might go back to the spiritual world, maybe a million lifetime from now, but eventually we would get there because we have faith in Krishna, right? Krishna promised us that. So we don't have any doubt about that we will be together forever. But so I just want to encourage the small family, God brothers, God sister, we love each other, but we love Guru most. So, moving forward, that we should enjoy these gatherings. Hare Krishna.
This assembly of devotees, it's incredible for me. And I came here 2 years ago, and I remember I approached you, and I said, I'm Veda Vyasadas, and he says, yeah, I remember you. And I was really grateful that you remember me, Guru Maharaj. But I brought my wife with me and a little offering. We have, I used to cook for you in Sharanagati in 1994, and we brought a little something for you. So I hope you can take it for your gathering and take as an offering. I already wrote a little offering, so I'd like to say a little anecdote that happened with you, with me. It was in 1989, I believe, when you came to Vancouver as a GBC and a spiritual master. I was 25 years old. I was a little nervous to be the next temple president, and it felt a little funny because most people in those years were Prabhupada disciples, and there was new devotees as well. And what happened is, well, first of all, I was getting not much cooperation, and I went to see the deities, and I says, I wonder why you give me that position, because it's pretty rough here, And what happened is, I was thinking, they should not serve me as temple president, they should serve the position. This is why maybe we should cooperate together. And I didn't have much cooperation. However, when you came, we went together, you and I, in Darshan, and you said to me, so how can I help you? How can I serve you? And I was actually baffled by such a question. I said, no, actually, I came here to serve you. And anyway, we were going back and forth a few times. And I realized that it was just like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is saying, Dasos me. So it was like, I felt like you were serving us and you were trying to get the mission going, and it was pretty humbling for me to receive such a simple thing as, how can I serve you? So that's it. Hare Krishna, and I just want to be continuing in my devotional service. I came from Quebec, and over there it's all in French, and somehow I kept a few of the Prabhupada Lilamrita in French, which we give to people, and we says give it back when you finish reading it because there's not much printing of it. So when people read the book, they're always amazed by the writings and also by Prabhupada. So thank you so much, Guru Maharaj. All glories to you.
All the wonderful devotees that are here and all their wonderful offerings. And my little circle of special devotees, Ram Roy, John Mastami, Hari Ashva, Baladev, Nitai, who couldn't make it. And I just want to say I always feel so insignificant in my spiritual advancement compared to all these amazing disciples of yours, God brothers and God sisters. So just today I want to say my incredible gratitude that I sincerely feel that I don't have to have any envy of any of this because you have so much love for all of us. So today I just want to thank you for having so much love for all your disciples and allowing me to be one of them.